Well, that was a big-time game for the beginning of November. I'm not sure either team played great. When you shoot 7%, my 99-year-old mother's going to call me and ask me who the shooting coach is, and of course I'm going to tell them it was my assistants. But you know what? We played hard. I mean, before the game, they talked me into playing instead of going through a pregame talk, a video that we call Passion. It's about our players over the years, and in this day and age where, you know, it still matters. There were things that Mateen said, and things that Magic said, and things that just different guys, and it was really enlightening. And I said, this is their chance. You have games like this so that you get your chance to develop your own identity and your own legacy. And I just asked them to play as hard as they could play. To get 19 offensive boards against a team like that, who I have a lot of respect for. I mean, I think John's a hell of a coach, and that was their first time on the road. It's one of the reasons I'm glad we went to UConn. I think that helped us. But, you know, we shot better from the line early. Didn't turn it over too bad. 18 assists on 25 baskets, some of them early. I thought Jeremy, you know, some of that was my fault. I just ran him to death because we weren't getting enough out of the other point guards, and we got to get them better. And it wasn't Jeremy was in bad shape. I just kept playing him, and got tired a little bit, so that'll go to me. But the encouraging thing for me was our two freshmen were really, really, really good. Cam Ward was really good, and so was Jordan. And Cohen, even though his stats aren't off the charts, if you looked at his defense, the big-time rebounds he got, early on a couple of great passes, I thought that was Cohen Carr's best overall game since he's been here. And his leadership, he did a great job. And you know, what a weekend for us with hockey doing what they've done. And I guess our you know, soccer team, our women's is in for something tomorrow, and our women's basketball. But it was a great weekend for Spartans. And coming from that environment over there, a lot of the people that came over here, I think we need this here. You know, we need this. And I'm just happy I could be a part of it. So questions, I'll answer.
Tom, you were minus 18 beyond the arc, but your freshmen were 10 for 17 with 17 boards. John's two freshmen were 10 for 31. What does it say about your two guys that they could play this way in such a big game?
Yeah, I was proud of both guys. I mean, for Cam, he's Antonio with a little more skills. I mean, he's just tougher than nails. He's Andre Hudson-ish. He's nothing bothers Cam. You know, as he gets better from the free throw line, and he knows he has it, he's improving some. He made a couple nice passes. But going in that environment, I thought he was great. And Jordan did some good things too. Got loose balls, and you know, it was a shame he missed those two free throws. It would have been over, but he's a good free throw shooter. He shot well before. You know, I think the other part of the game, 46 to 28 in the paint, you know. Give Carson credit on that. Give Cam credit. Give Cohen credit for some of those great passes. I think the disappointing thing, we missed a ton of layups. Short shots. Now they got good shot blockers, so give them some credit. But we were intimidated by that. And we did a poor job on a couple of those turnovers early. I mean, I think they had 7 layups in the first half, which they're good at. But we can't do that and win games normally. So, yeah, our freshmen played good. We got to get some more basketball out of Trey. We got to get some more out of Kerr. And we got to get some more out of Devine. And right now, that'll be this week's challenge.
Tom, and you're right. I know you expected this to be a big-time matchup, you know, big test for this team, but the way your team responded, especially late in the game when things get down to a one-shot lead and you need to defend and rebound and do all the little things, the way your team responded, did you expect them to come out and do that, or was that a bit of a surprise?
Well, I'd hope they do that. You know, I think that's what Jeremy, you know, in the huddles, you know, was fired up. Cohen really did a good job leading my team. And I'll be honest with you, you know, getting our fans, I mean, they've been good, but some of it is we haven't given them enough, and you get games like this. I think it helps everybody. It gives confidence to our guys that they can win, not even shooting it well. It makes you realize how important our fans were. I thought they were phenomenal all night. When you came out early and they were like they were, it just makes a difference. I mean, that's home court advantage in basketball is bigger than football. And I thought our fans did a good job, and I thought our guys hung in there, But our fans hung in there with us too, They didn't drop off. They hung right in there, and I'm appreciative of that.
It was pointed out to Coach Cal that Fears went 0 for 7, and he looked at us and said, you know what he did? He did everything his team needed to win the game.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, Jeremy missed a couple of those layups, had a wide open three, been shooting the daylights out of it. He's really shot well from the free throw line. Did he miss one or two? Two. I mean, but I think more of that was fatigue, and it's not because he's not in shape. It's because his coach just played him to death, and I got to do a better job. I got to do a better job for him because, Jeremy's always going to have his moments, like Mateen did, like Draymond did, There's always going to be a back and forth because it's competitive, and for the most part, me, I enjoy a little bit of that myself, but he's getting better, really it's only his second year when you think of everything he went through, and I was pleased with Jeremy. I was pleased with him, how he responded late. He threw some great lobs. He had a couple of those turnovers. That one, he went right off his knee. That was critical late, but it was just a fatigue turnover. And so there should be a player turnovers for players, then there should be one for the coach. And I had a couple in that game because of maybe how I played, guys.
Tom, I'm wondering the defensive aspect of having both Cam and Jordan out there, what their length did, and then when you got Cooper back in the second half, particularly that last stretch where he went up on A-Cuff and kind of bothered that shot, like how much of a difference does he make in that second half for you guys defensively?
We talk all the time that Coop's a guy that can cover almost guards. He's a very good athlete for his size. He made some great plays, and he we turned it over, some ball going through his hands, and we need Coop to be really good because he's one of the smartest players I got. He's a guy that can cover a lot of different positions. He is a good rebounder. So we need, more and more and more out of him. But I'm telling you, for the atmosphere the way it was, for the game the way it was, to shoot as poorly as we did from the three, and we didn't shoot great from the two, although neither did they. Both teams, I thought, played well defensively. You watch John's team; they're going to win a lot of games. I'm telling you, that is a talented team, and they've got to learn to play together too, just like we're trying to. These are big games for this early, and this is why it's hard to go on the road and play these kind of games because the advantage goes to the home team early until everybody gets their feet on the ground. So I was proud of the way we handled it, as you said. I was proud of the way. Even though we made some mistakes, we kept fighting back. I can't believe they shot 37% and had all those layups. Because, so if we would have not given up all those layups. But they play good defense too. That's going to be, I know this, they're going to be a real good team. I hope we get to be a real good team.
And then the freshmen on the length of their...
Yeah, the length helps, especially in Jordan's case. At 6'6", 6'7", he has some length. He's a pretty good athlete, and he goes in there and gets rebounds. We thought he wasn't going to be very tough. We thought he would struggle defensively, and he has surprised us. He's a great shooter, and he's actually missing some shots and free throws. But his strength is his shooting. That's why I told you he kind of reminds me of Max Christie, where we didn't think Max was a good defender, and he ended up a great defender. And now we just got to get his Jordan's shot back, and we got so many big games coming up that we got a lot of work to do.
Cal also revealed that your wives have never met until today, but they've heard you on the other end of phone conversations so many times. Obviously, you talk a lot to him, right?
I do, and sometimes his wife laughs because of our conversations, because I think with certain things that we've done, we agree. We're on many boards together over the years, and you know, Kel gets misconstrued sometimes. He's a funny dude, but he's really smart. I mean, he really is. And what I love about him, I think he really cares about the game. And I just looked at a couple of, I don't know if they were podcasts or whatever, and I watched him the other day, and I said, wow, I agree with everything he says. You know, I mean, talking about some of my favorite topics that aren't the social media. But, yeah, you know, it's, unfortunately, we're talking a lot because it's usually late at night.
Specifically for Jeremy Fears, but also just the team as a whole, what did you think of shot selection today? Were you happy with most of the shots going up, or were there some shots that you would have rather not seen?
Cam's three was, I think we're going to retire that for a while, just because it's not there yet. You know, that's okay. Judd used to say, you know, when a guy takes a three and he says, but I was wide open. And Judd used to always say, they have a scouting report too, you know. And there's a little bit of truth to that. But if Cam does all the other things and he wants to take a bad three, amen. I'm cool with that. But I thought I thought both freshmen rushed a couple of them. You know, Jeremy, I didn't think that three he took was good. Those layups and those short shots I thought were great, you know. So I don't know. I have to watch the film, but listen, I'm gonna be anti-me for as big as that game was, and I think big for our fans, big for our team, big for our staff. We did enough things to find a way to win, and at the end of the day. Unfortunately, in college basketball right now, I don't think winning's at the top of many people's lists. Tonight proved it was the top of Michigan State's list. And I think they approached the game that way. I think they felt that way in the huddles. And I thank all the former players who were in on this little video. I mean, it wasn't recent, it was from the past, but it just kind of proves that together we can get a lot of things done. I thought that was a good team win tonight because we had some guys that didn't play good, some guys that did play good. But Jeremy did, like John said, 9 assists, 3 turnovers, and 2 of the turnovers were ridiculous. But I think they were fatigue turnovers. So he gets 1, I get 2. That's the way I look at it.
One other question. Any thoughts you can share with us at this point for the starting lineup moving forward?
Oh, no, I like to keep you guys, especially in controversy. I'm going to try to get as many quarterback controversies as I can have. But, no, I don't know. I'll watch the film. I'll make some decisions. Some of it will be dependent on the other team. But we're going to rotate. You know, there's going to be some rotations there until we get straightened out, just like there was last year. I mean, I've made no bones about it. We need one of our 2 guards to step up. And, Trey did some things. He played better D sometimes. And we're trying to get Divine to learn how to play harder all the time. And we're going to do that. And he's listening. And of course, in the freshman, I mean, he's just going to get better because he is really smart and it really matters to him. He is here because he wants to win. And so he'll end up a favorite. Yes.
Tom, the Fox guys, Raph and Shear, were ecstatic with the game they got. John was up here and said never been to Michigan, but now he understands why you stayed here so long with this environment. Is it possible a game like this could lead to more home and homes? You got to go back to Bud Walton next year, right?
Yeah, I'm. It's a privilege and an honor to go there. You know, me, I'd rather play in everybody's home. You know, I've tried to play every game and I can play on the planet in somebody else's home. I think those are the great things, but I think our fans deserve to have this. Even, it's such a exciting day. Even the media here deserves to have good home games so you don't have to travel. So I'm a home and home guy personally. You know, I would love to do it. His team will be better because of coming here, just like we were better because of going to UConn. Danny helped me. You know, I told some of you, watching them on film was scary. I really meant it too. I still think before the year's over, that is going to be a really, really good team. But first time on the road, some of those freshmen, it's going to take a little while for him too, but he's got a nice team. He really does.
Coach, your thoughts on how your team rebounded today? Watching this one, it seemed like a real war on the glass.
It was physical, and we said that was our number one key was, believe it or not, transition defense, which we didn't do too well, but we didn't do it too well because we turned the ball over and it was jailbreaks. It wasn't a matter of getting back. We had all jailbreaks. That means they just ran off. But there were some wars in there. They had that one early where they got 3 in a row and tipped it in. But after that, I thought we cut out pretty good. I thought we were physical. We thought that was our advantage. And but that's a good rebounding team too. So that'll help us take a step forward. We just got to do some things better offensively and get our running game going. But that was hard too because they put a little pressure on us, even on the outlet passes. I'm telling you, that's a well-coached team. Yes?
You guys only made 1 3 and were still able to get the victory. What does this say about your team defensively and offensively, your ability to get in the paint and stay in the game?
Yeah, well, I think we did that on purpose so we could prove we could win without scoring. It's a shame we made 1 3. If we would have made those 2 free throws and won by 2 and didn't make a 3, that would have been a hell of a deal. But I do think one of the game plans was to try to go inside. And then they changed their game plan and they started doubling, and I thought they did a good job, and that created some problems. But, driving the ball early, we got some, Cohen made a couple of beautiful plays, and we're just, we're not shooting the ball great. It's no secret. And some of our best shooters, the problem is shooters got to be able to guard too. Some of our best shooters aren't good enough defensively yet. So that's my challenge. That falls on me. I got to do a better job of that, and I will. We will. This will be a good learning game because guys realized how hard you have to play, how physical the game is. Most of my guys don't come from the upper level; they come from the lower level. Any transfers and that, and those freshmen. But thank God for Cam being built like Adonis because he just, he salivates in those kind of deals. Anything else?
Yeah, Coach, in the back. You mentioned it earlier, but with the Penn State hockey, with the Michigan State team beating Penn State, big matchup, you guys coming away with the big matchup victory tonight, and then the big matchup for women's soccer tomorrow, the Big Ten final. Just talk a little bit about the culture here with MSU athletics, specifically when you can come away with those big matchup victories, how much it means not only to the community, but to the athletic program as well.
Well, and our women play here tomorrow. Hopefully, they won by 100 the other day, so they got to be pretty good too in basketball. But me, I've always been about the program, the athletic program, not just the basketball program. And I've always said, like I was sitting in my office before I went down, and the hockey game was coming to an end, and I'm watching a little bit of that on TV, and it was just exciting for me. I went over there last night and saw our first goal, and I had to leave for my meetings and everything that I had to do here. But, never going to change for me. The better Michigan State, other teams and other programs do, the better for me. And I think we need and deserve. No, let me say this. Our fans need and deserve that. They need big games here. There was no bigger game, man. I went to the start of that hockey game. It reminded me when Mariucci and I went to college. The Green Bay Bobcats or something they were called. It was an it was a IAL or what the hell they got. I got to call my man Adam. They got so many different names for so many of those smaller programs. But it was one of those. In fact, the guy that was on it was in Slapshot. The 3 brothers were playing on the team. First game I went to ever in a Quonset hut up there. It was freezing cold, and they dropped the puck, they dropped the gloves, and everybody fought. It was a hell of a deal, And but I went to the first quarter last night. There was some cheap shotting, and I know that was a little bit of a grudge game, and that just kind of fired me up. I came back and told my guys, man, they're fighting over there. We're going to be fighting tomorrow, And so it's exciting for me to see all those other people doing well, and I'm really proud of all of them. And hopefully we can keep going. I mean, we had a long season. You know, what are we in game? What are we, 2-0?
Game 2.
Oh, jeez. 29 more of these.
November 8th.
November 8th. That's a hell of a game for November 8th, you know. Maybe this has been a good month. I know we have Major League Baseball in the back. That was one of the greatest games there, and we've had a good game. That hockey game last night and the night before was great. So, hey, listen, we got a lot of work to do. Don't canonize us. I don't like your comment but I liked your comment because you're right. You know, we didn't shoot it well enough, and we're not going to win games shooting it like that. You can't rely on your defense all day long, you know. But I thought we had enough good shots. It'll be interesting. Maybe a lot of those shots look worse from the stands, you know. I was too busy trying to exchange Christmas cards with the referees, so I didn't see all of them. So maybe it was different. I don't know. But I wasn't disappointed in a lot of, you know, there's going to be shots. How many shots went up? 61. That's not bad. That's not bad considering you got 26 free throws. So we weren't holding the ball. We were getting up and down, and you're going to take a couple bad shots, but I'll check that out. I'll let you know next time. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Bill.